quite an incredible sight to see the government of a place that officially doesn't exist actually in operation, the government ministers all sitting down around the table. And the irony is that this building that they're in actually used to be the home of one of the leading Somali warlords, and now it's the seat of government for Somaliland. Is the President? Assalamu alaikum, Mr. President. Lovely to meet you. Thank you for agreeing to see us. It's very kind of you. What's your national budget?
Whatever we get. We have no choice. Whatever we get.
How much do you get, roughly? Approximately?
Roughly this year it was 30 million. 30 million.
Is that enough?
It's not enough. But we are satisfied whatever we get. Because all the people are making sacrifice. Sometimes we used to get 5 million. And we used to run this country.
You can run the country on 5 million?
Because by sacrifice. All the people, they are making sacrifice.
The UN is helping to train Somaliland's new police force, and Fatima Ibrahim invited me to see the recruits.
A lot of these police officers used to be soldiers or guerrilla fighters, and some of them were even sort of security guards for some of the clans, so they were basically tribal warriors. And they've been turned in the space of a few months with help from the United Nations into quite an effective police force. Do you think there's any irony in the fact that the United Nations is helping to train police officers for a country and a government that they don't recognise?
No, not really, because as far as we're concerned in UNDP, this is part of the humanitarian assistance that we can give.
And why is this man throwing stones at these officers?
He's training them that if a riot breaks out, then people will be throwing stones at them. This is part of our humanitarian assistance. Without this kind of protection, then we would have to rely on militia groups and armed guards.
Like they do in Somalia.
Yes. And also what it does, it gives role models to the children. So instead of having a children that's growing up in a society of armed conflict, you've got a generation of children who are growing up in a society of law and order.
Somalia and Somaliland are both Islamic nations. Militant groups are emerging here, and I'd heard there were al-Qaeda terrorists in jail who'd attacked foreigners in Somaliland.
So Yusuf, who are these men?
They belong to Al-Ittihad, which is closely linked to Al-Qaeda.
So they're followers of Bin Laden?
That's right.
And what crimes have they been responsible for?
They have been responsible for the killing of a Kenyan lady in last March. And also they confessed taking part in the killing of 2 British couples. They could be also have a link to the killing of an Italian aid worker who was killed in October last year.
Officials here claim the men travelled from Mogadishu to launch their attacks. Somaliland isn't an obvious tourist destination, but it does have a tourism minister who wanted Yusuf and me to see one of his favourite sites, however hard it was to get to. Somaliland is home to ancient rock paintings, at least 5,000 years old.
Here is the cow, and person, always under the cow. That means the people, they were praying the cow.
They were praying to the cow?
Yeah.
This is the horns of the cow, you can just see there. And then inside, this is a baby cow that's still inside the mother waiting to be born. These figures here are humans, and they've realized that they're lying prostrate or praying underneath the cows, and they seem convinced that in this area then, 4,000 years before Christ, the humans lived here who worshipped cows. You can see all these pictures, the pictures are amazing.
They say this picture is the best that they have seen.
totally undeveloped at the moment. This is not a tourist destination, at least yet. If there was, then there would probably be some stairs.
Next on my tour was a trip to a local zoo.
I'm not sure what the RSPCA would say about this place.
First we will see this one.
Are they quite tame? This gentleman has put his hand into the lion's mouth. I won't be doing that. How long have you had them?
This about, I think it's 5 months, this one. But 4 years I had that, the big one.
There's a big one as well.
This one is small.
Be careful, maybe he will jump from here.
Did you hear that? He said, be careful or the lion might jump on you. This lioness is actually one of the lucky ones because most of the animals in Somaliland were killed and eaten by soldiers and civilians as well during the Civil War.
As a guerrilla commander, Yusuf spent more than a decade in the bush, fighting Somali forces.
Yusuf was just saying that when he was a guerrilla fighter, they used to hide behind these termite mounds when the government troops were attacking them, and the government troops' bullets wouldn't go through. They'd be safe behind them. They're that strong. But you managed to get some. There we go.
Oh, good.
Does it look good?
Good.
Should we try it?
Yes.
Have you drunk it all?
Nothing left for you.
Yusuf, I was enjoying that.
Somalilanders are proud of their independence, but they worry other countries are trying to force them into a new union with Somalia.
The international community should realize that they just cannot impose on us a form of government which we don't want, and that's reunification with Somalia.
If it came to it, do you think you would be prepared to fight again to protect Somaliland? Can you imagine a situation where you would fight again?
I hope it doesn't happen, but if Somaliland's independence is threatened, I have no doubt that the whole nation will rise up. If we are not accepted as members of the international community, that will be another suffering. And I don't think we deserve that. Then I will have no option except to fight.
Hello.
These are majestic, proud animals. The way they walk, the way they look at people, as if nobody else is important except them.
It's very true that they do, yeah.
Sounds like a presenter.
Yeah, that'll make it on the telly, guaranteed.